How's it going, everyone? We are back. This is Dusk. We are back playing Pocket Isekai on week one, new server. I do want to apologize ahead of time. It does look like I'm probably not going to be able to go live every single day. Let me actually get the. I know there's a share button for when I'm going live. I don't remember where it is. There it is. This way I can share it in the Discord. Here we go. We'll share this. Doing this. Like I was saying, I do want to apologize ahead of time. I was hoping this week I would be able to do a live stream every single day for each day of the week one new server. However, my work informed me today that I will be going out of state this middle of this week on, I think it was Wednesday. So I'm going to be, I'm not going to be able to probably even record on that day because I'm going to be gone from, I think, about 6 a.m. until 8 or 9 p.m. that night. So by the time I get home, I'm probably going to be exhausted and probably won't feel like doing any videos, although I will try to make sure I maintain this account at that time. But we will cross that bridge on Wednesday, see if I can do that. If I can't do a live, well, I'm pretty sure I can do a live stream. But if I don't feel like even doing a video, I will on day 4, which is Thursday, I will do kind of a combined video of day 4 and day 5. If not, do them on live, go over both of them. So I will make it up, but just wanted to let y'all know there would be no day 3 live stream. Day 2, week 1 server live stream. Come hang out, ask questions. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy for that. Anyway, we are on day 2. Most likely everybody has skyrocketed for their day 2 because day 2 reset was almost 12 hours ago. It was 10 and a half hours ago. So I am going to be significantly behind. I'm about 35, 37,000 behind. Ooh, there we go. So we will go ahead and go over what you need to make sure you do on day 2, and you should do this on every day throughout your entire time playing. Is always check for any stamina that you haven't claimed or resources you've missed, and always check your events first and foremost. Then you want to check your mail. This is going to show that I was in the gym. I did not rank highly in the gym, mainly because it took so long for me to. I mean, I ranked 15, but it took me so long to be able to get high enough ranked. So I got stuck and had to. What was it? I didn't get enough points to get as high as my actual gym standing was. I did place, I believe, 4th or 5th in the summon challenge as a free-to-play player. So I do get 1 elite ditto and some gold, so that's always a welcome present there. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and hit all of your dailies. That should always be your first priority every day, not just in week 1. Just get all your dailies out of the way. To find those, you just go to pass and then the quest, and then these are all your dailies. Now you can come here and do them. individually just by telling me to go, and then I'll just pop you over there. Or if you know all of them by heart by now, you can just go around, do all of them, and then come back to the quest board and just knock them all out at the same time. This is also going to be at where we get the primary most of our XP for the day. We are already at the point where we're not going to be leveling up more than a couple times. I will go ahead and buy out all the possible gold and stamina I can buy. We'll go challenge Victory Road one time. And these challenges, they don't care if you win or lose. Same goes for the gym. It doesn't care if you win or lose it. Just come in, run it real quick, get your experience, and then move on. We can let this just autoplay. We'll see how this goes. My voice is kind of going away after talking to people all day. While this is going in the background, we can actually come back here and look at what we need for day one. Just a double check. This is... Oh, that finished. But okay. And then we can also jump over to the gym. There is... the capture window. There we go. All right. So I'm going to... Oh wow, I'm still on floor 8. I mean. So what we'll do, we'll see if there's anything that we can do like easily here. Did that say the world team was up? No. Okay. So the easiest thing to do is just kind of throw just to get your experience here, because like I said, we don't really care. So we're just gonna kind of throw these first two. Make everybody think that we're weak and can't do anything. There we go. And now if we go back and we look at the pass, you'll see that we've actually completed our complete 2 gym battles in a day. See right there. And then we'll also go to Alola to catch a Pokemon. Don't bother going anywhere. The idea is to get through this part as fast as you can so that you can get to the parts that actually matter. Just like that. And now we're, like you see, we're now level 28. The race is to, I believe, get to level 32. So let's go ahead and take a look at the checklist today, the goals list. So day 2 is, like I said, hit the ground running. You're going to try to get through all the dailies as soon as possible, gather all your free resources. Today's goal is to reach level 30. This is so that it puts us within reach of level 33 by end of day 3 so that we can unlock the world boss. If you have any rare quality Pokemon on your team, they should be 8 stars, which is the max they can be at level 28. SR Pokemon should all be at least 6 stars. If you can get them to 8, that is even better. If you can get those to level 8, if you can get them to level 8, that means you're probably going to be doing a pretty good job. Probably top 10 in your gym. Probably top 10 in CP ranking, unless there's just a lot of whales or VIPs playing on your server. As for TMs, you still want to keep them leveling up. When it comes to the victory road, you want to be at least level 12 by the end of day 2. Do not sweep a victory road until the end of each of these days. Use your time throughout the day to clear them as you're progressing. You'll power up and level up. You might be able to clear 1 or 2 extra floors by the end of the day. So if you wait to sweep until the very end, when you know you're probably not going to be pushing any higher, then you can go ahead and sweep that floor. Keep sweeping your adventures, both normal and difficult, as high as you can, as long as you're still reaching 3 stars. I would focus more on the normal. The only upside to doing the difficult adventures is you get more balls and more summons by completing those, and probably a little bit more gold. I haven't really looked at that. But by getting the normal adventures cleared all the way up until the level that you're allowed, that means you can potentially have the highest possible training you can for your level without wasting resources as well. So with that in mind, we can jump right on back over here to our, pop up here. There we go. We can jump right back over to here. We'll come over to our Pokemon. As of right now, I am currently using kind of a strange team. This is more along the lines of just countering what's currently available, and because I just haven't pulled anything useful. The only thing I've managed to get is a Dialga, and of course the God Pika that you get at the very beginning. So that's what I've been trying to use. I didn't get a lot of luck when it came to Snorlax. I had a lot more luck doing Greninja, which Greninja can be a counter to early game, like Poison Team if people are running Gengar, Darkrai, Mewtwo, or Mew. It can counter that pretty well. Plus, if built right, built for crit, and built to just come in and just take out an enemy when they're getting like half health, it does a pretty good job at that as well. Same thing with Rhyperior. When they're getting low, you swap this in, hit them. If you fail to kill them, there's a chance you'll stun them. If you do kill them, you have the energy to do it again the consecutive turn. So that's always useful. Butterfree I like because it's an early game energy reducer. Dialga, of course, is a dragon counter. Dragon does very little to Dialga. Well, at least the ground moves. Although the dragon energy and whatnot still just eats it alive, unless you build it pretty tanky. But its OKO is a great counter early game for early Garchomps and Rayquazas and Mega Garchomps. So it's always a good early thing that you can do. Hitmonchan is kind of just there to counter any other Dialgas or dark types as well, or any other steel types they may have. Eventually we'll end up swapping these out once we actually have a more fleshed out idea of what we're going to do as a team. We can do some summons. I did purposely keep these my summons until after the wish list had started. So the wish list opens on day 2, and it allows you to choose any SSR that you would like, or SR. I don't recommend doing SRs. This is going to allow you to start building the team you're planning on doing. If you've already pulled SSRs, especially if it's like Rayquaza or Groudon, Mega Garchomp, one of the top ones there, even Suicune, it might actually be beneficial for you to just wish list the same one so you can continue starring them, and then just focus on that one. If you wanted to spend a little money, you could get the privilege and you could actually wish list 3, and then the next 3 times you get an SSR, you'll get each one individually. So the first one you choose will be the first SSR you get, so on. The second one will be the second one you get, so on and so forth. For me, I could grab another Dialga, or I could swing over to the Dragon team and try to begin setting up that. If I was to do Dragon team, I'd probably go Rayquaza, but then I'm going to sit there and have a long time before I get Rayquaza. I could do Mega Garchomp, but if I do Mega Garchomp, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have a team set up to be able to do the control aspect like I normally do. And a part of me kind of wants to do something different. I want to see if I can build a team that's not the main Dragon team and them be competitive. Now, I'll probably still eventually get Groudon, but I think what I want to really try to do is I think I'm going to kind of focus a little bit on Dialga, but I might be doing some of these, some weirder shenanigans later on. So I'm going to stick with Dialga for now. We're going to go ahead and summon this. I'm going to get my Dialga, guaranteed. With a bad nature, I am going to get a decent Rhyperior, an okay Bite. I'm not going to bother with the fire summons either. But this is going to let us not only improve the current nature we have, which, to be fair, Brave isn't much better, but I'm going to kind of pad my CP a little bit. This is going to let us level this up. Now, I could use another Ditto and level it up again, and I probably will. I don't see myself using God Pika. Oh, I have doubles here. If you wanted to, you could theoretically start trying to build 2 SSRs. However, I would only recommend that if at least one of the SSRs you're going for is on Island 3. So that would be, I think, what is it? Tapu Koko or something for electric. Mega Garchomp. Ho-Oh, or I think it's Ho-Oh. Let's see. Let me double check. So the ones you can get on Island 3 is God Pika, Ho-Oh, Mega Venusaur, Mega Blastoise, which I don't recommend, or Mega Garchomp. So if you go with one of those, then along with another one, then it's fine. Because that means there's going to be a chance that you're going to be able to catch at least 1 or 2, if not 3 of these every week. As long as you're keeping an eye on your Pokeballs and everything. So that's my plan. Is I'm going to do some weird, inconspicuous thing that people don't understand. What is here? As for training, like I said, you do want to get your adventures leveled up. So like right now, I wouldn't want to waste this because I wouldn't want to be just doing level chapter 5. Ideally, I would wait until I'm chapter 7 before I start trying to sweep these. You'll see all of mine are well behaved +1 or 2, with the exception of God Pika here. I was thinking about putting in Snorlax instead of probably Rhyperior, but then I'm going to be stuck with God Pika, and I really want to have a different solution for that. I also want to eventually get rid of Butterfree and Hitmonchan. So I really don't know what I'm going to do there. I may have to eventually go with like a Mega Garchomp or something like that so that I can go Dragon Team. Or I can just try to do just all universal. We will find out. We'll see what we get. One of my goals today is trying to get a Mega Brave Greninja as well as a Mega Brave Snorlax. So we will see if we accomplish that. We do need to go ahead and go into the adventures, so I will go ahead and sweep through those. Do I want to do that now? Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just going to be wasting a lot of time on this to be doing all of those dailies. I can easily just be doing those dailies without being live. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to level these up to what I can. I'm going to do the daily adventures. I probably should have just done a video today, not actually a live stream. I'm going to do the adventures. The end goal for this is, like I said, to reach level 30 and CP reaches 70 or plus, 70k or plus. Based on the CP rankings that we have on the server already, I want to see what some of the VIP zeros are at. So 77 is where they're at. If I can get up to here in the 90s, 80s and 90s, that'll be fun and interesting. But I do believe some people have started spending some money on this server, so things are going to kind of get a little bit more difficult. So with that, let's go ahead and just start doing this. I'll probably hang out on this live stream just for a couple minutes. And we're going to just, like I said, hang out. I'll probably go until about... I haven't been doing this yet. Started at a little over 5:20, so we'll do it until about 6 o'clock my time. So we'll give it almost 40 minutes. I did mention this in my, I believe my first live stream, is that doing live streams or longer videos for this just really isn't great. People aren't going to be paying attention very much to it. I'm probably better off just spending my time being available in the Discord server. So if you have any questions and you don't want to chime into a live stream, then feel free to just come ask questions in the Discord server. And that means instead of live streams, I can actually put out like some little videos that actually have tips and tricks. There was a couple that I wanted to do. There's a lot of people having complaints about spawn rates of some of the rare Pokemon in the higher islands. A lot of people think it's a bug. It's not, so I'm going to make a video explaining that. There was another video I want to do, something on some tips and tricks. I wanted to do something, I wanted to talk about held items, but I really don't want to just spit out a bunch of videos all at once. Because I mean, we're trying to keep it fair for everybody and also just kind of keep everything alive. If we just spit everything out at once, then the mods won't be needed anymore. Plus, we also just don't have time to just give out all that information all at once. that's just a lot of videos or some very lengthy videos, and we don't want to do either of that. And also, it's a lot easier to show what we're doing than it is to explain it. But as you can see here, it's relatively easy to just sweep through the adventures, especially at low levels. Dragon team, water team, even electric team, I think, does a pretty good job just sweeping all the way through this. But I know that I needed at least through chapter 7, so I want to finish all the way out through chapter 7, maybe even chapter 8 if I'm high enough level for it. And that'll guarantee that I can get my training up to the well-behaved +2 and 3 that I need by the end of today. You know what? While that's playing, I'm going to go over some of the other stuff that I have. This way we're not just watching a bunch in the background. So I went over the Pokemon basics. I don't want to go over like the different things that you unlock. Divine Beast, there's a little bit of information in there, but it's not something new. So the biggest thing I think we're going to go over is kind of the team composition. One of the aspects that especially new players don't understand is that the Pokemon are separated into different types. So every team, which is your dragon, electric, fire, poison, and water, they all have 2 types of Pokemon. These are state Pokemon and output Pokemon. State Pokemon, no matter what team they are, put down a layer or multiple layers of their element. So dragon puts on dragon energy, electric team does paralysis, fire team does burning, water team does the damp, and poison team does poison. Well, the output Pokemon, if you actually took time and read their abilities, they specifically state that they'll do additional damage or additional something based on the number of layers of that energy. So for instance, Garchomp gets a higher crit rate for like 12% more crit or something like that for every layer of dragon energy. So if you put down 5 on a Pokemon, 5 layers of dragon energy, your Garchomp has a 60% higher crit rate. And I think it already has a base like 25%. And later on, one of the talents, like, it just becomes easy to, even if there's only 2 layers, because Garchomp gets an ability later that he gets additional crit rate based on the number of Pokemon on the battlefield. Whether that includes your own or just your enemies, not 100% sure. But even if it's just your enemies, you could have like 2 layers of dragon energy and you'll get basically guaranteed crit every single time. Unless they're using crit resistance. So, and then it's the same for all of them: electric, fire, water, and poison. So when you're building a team, you don't have to have more than one of each, but you have to have at least 1 state and 1 output if you want to have the maximum damage potential for that team. You can have multiple outputs, you can have multiple states. In some cases, like poison and burning, that may not be a bad idea. Because you can have 2 stacks of 5 poison on them, and they'll just be taking even more poison damage every turn. And then things like Gengar will eat all the stacks and do more damage based on the number of stacks it had. So, like, you just look, you read the abilities and see how they best work as a team. Now, your universal Pokemon, these are separated into 3 groups instead of 2. You have your defense group, your output group, and your support group. Universal Pokemon are designed to be fillers for your team. So you put in 1 or 2 states and outputs. They could be the same team, they could be different teams. And then you put anywhere from 2 to like 4 universal. This is why you're going to see, like my team has Mega Snorlax, Groudon, and Mega Diancie. And then it sits there and has, what is it? Rayquaza, Mega Garchomp, and Mewtwo. Now, I use Mega Garchomp more for its energy steal ability and not for its dragon energy, but it still works as a state Pokemon, so I can switch into Mewtwo and do a lot of damage. By using these, you can use defense Pokemon to be your tanks that sit there and last in battle. Most of these are counters to Pokemon, or they'll be like Mega Snorlax or Mega Diancie or Giratina, which have some kind of control aspect. And then there's also Groudon, which is just kind of a finisher. It's a tank finisher. It'll sit there and it's very difficult to die. It can heal itself, and then all of a sudden it just hits like a truck. Lugia, not much damage going on with that in the slightest, but it can tank some damage and it can heal your entire team. Output, these Pokemon are Pokemon that do not require a state or energy of any kind to do their output. Now, I have a little bit of wonder if Misty Psyduck should actually be in the output group. I know it can do damage, but most people use this for its ability to make Pokemon do their, I think their normal attack again. Like you can pair Misty Psyduck with a Mega Snorlax, and then if Mega Snorlax also has Shadow Kill, you can basically get Mega Snorlax to do its OKO every single turn. The same thing with like Marshadow. You can pair Misty Psyduck with Marshadow, and Marshadow's normal attack gives it layers of damage buffs up to a certain amount of layers. So if Misty Psyduck is encouraging Marshadow to do its ability again, and then you've given it perhaps Shadow Kill, it's going to do a move, do its normal move from Shadow Kill, and then Misty Psyduck is going to make it do its normal move again. So now your Marshadow has multiple stacks of this damage buff already ready to go. On round 2, it's just going to do like 10-15% more damage than it did the turn before. And then you have your support Pokemon. These are really your healers. Alchemy and Tapu Lele, very good healers. Tapu Lele does have a little bit of damage counter to dragon types. And Celebi is also a very good control Pokemon with its like mass energy removal. If you have a fast Celebi as your first Pokemon in your party, and your entire enemy team is running the talent that gives them +1 energy when they come out, if Celebi goes first, that talent is completely wasted as all of their energy is gone and they can't use their OKO. Follow Celebi up with other energy stealers, and your opponents are probably immediately going to have to just switch out in order to even start doing damage. So it's things like that, just reading the abilities, actually looking at the talents and what they do for the Pokemon. How can certain Pokemon interact with others? It's a very important aspect of building your team. As for building an early game team, going with early game dragon team, you can try doing a what is it? Tyrantrum as your state Pokemon with Gabite. Try to get yourself a Mega Garchomp or Rayquaza to get rid of a Tyrantrum at some point. Get yourself a Garchomp to replace Gabite. You can even run Gabite for a while alongside your Dragon team until you get some more higher damage output. One of the best possible teams I know of that you can run early game is like Rhyperior, Hitmonchan, Butterfree, well, these five right here, and then you either start working on a, I mean, you wouldn't run Gabite unless you also had a Tyrantrum. Just like you wouldn't do Swampert unless you had a Gyarados. Which you can get Gyarados pretty soon, pretty early. But this can all just be up to you. These early game team compositions aren't absolutely set in stone. These are just some of the best ones that we've determined. You can even see the best SSRs that we've determined early game. So when you're starting a new early game, try to pick out of this and keep in mind the team compositions and try to establish what kind of team you're looking to build, both for early, mid game, and late game. Now, you're going to need to have 3 teams overall. As for like the world bosses and the world gyms, but importantly, you're going to need to have a highly competitive team for things like the Trainer League and Real Time Arena, Trainer League especially, and also the Indigo Plateau. They are all based on AI, so there's certain Pokemon that just don't really work well with AI, like Palkia and I think even Giratina. They'll always target Pokemon that they really shouldn't target. And then like with Palkia, it can be a problem where it locks down, where it's just one-on-one all the way up until the end, and then they just can't do damage to each other, and now it's just a draw. So it's, well, the defender wins in that case. So it's really annoying. So always be keeping in mind what you're looking to build. Don't just slap something together and think that it's going to be great. You're probably going to be falling behind. Your CP may be 100,000 or 500,000 higher than the person below you, but if your team is absolutely garbage and doesn't mesh or work together well, somebody 500,000 CP behind you could technically beat you. So keep all that in mind. And I have this, like I said, this guide is available in the Discord. You can come look at this anytime you want, get some ideas, get some early game catching tips and everything like that. But as I said, I am going to just end this here right at 6 o'clock. I'll probably do a video on the spawns and everything for Pokemon within Alola in a little bit, maybe tomorrow or a couple days from now. I do not know yet. I'll also try to do an update again tomorrow. It probably will just be a video. I don't think I'm going to do a live stream for the rest of this week, just because I think the lives are just going to take too long, and people just probably aren't going to be watching it, at least especially not long enough to get to the information they need. So I'll try to make some short, sweet, precise videos of important information. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining, and I will see you next time.